Diabetes is a condition where you have too much sugar in your bloodstream. So when we eat food, basically all of that food gets churned around in our stomach and is converted into fuel, and that fuel is glucose. Now, glucose then makes its way through the body inside our cells where it's used as fuel. However, if you don't produce enough of a hormone called insulin, then the sugar builds up in the bloodstream. Now, we all know sugar is quite sticky and thick, and that sugar can build up in places where we don't want it to build up. For an example, it can build up in your heart. It can cause problems like angina or ultimately a heart attack. It can also build up in the kidneys and eventually can lead to problems with the kidneys such as kidney failure. It can also build up in the little arteries in the back of the eyes. So initially, some people who have diabetes and yet don't know they've got diabetes might have as their first symptom blurry vision. If that goes untreated over a long period of time, it can eventually lead to blindness. One of our goals here, of course, is to treat diabetes very aggressively so that none of these things happen. So just as an example, we've got some nice tomato soup here, and this is reflecting our blood, so nice and liquidy, and you can see it doesn't leave much of a residue in our blood vessels. However, if I add some sugar, but let's see what happens to our blood vessels. In that sugar goes. We'll give it a bit of a shake up. So again, this blood's moving through our arteries, and you can see that that sugary glug is left a residue in our blood. So if that happened day in, day out over many, many years, eventually that artery would get smaller and smaller, and this would become like a concrete crust inside. And that blood would have to work harder and harder to get through that smaller hole. So at Hunter Diabetes Centre, we want to give you tips and skills and strategies to reduce the glug.